So if you've been in this hobby for any amount of time, you've probably figured out that this is a very subjective and personal hobby. There's not a lot of factual evidence when it comes to picking out a fragrance. You're not talking about a technology item or something along those lines where you're using, statistics and technical specifications to describe a product. When it comes to fragrance, you don't really have all that much of that other than the official note breakdown, which you can get from the brand. And of course, that could be interpreted in different ways. Some people may say that they do pick up on those notes. Some people may say that they don't, right? I mean, really the only thing you have is the fact that, hey, this fragrance is called this, and that's about all that you can say for certain. Everything else pretty much can be argued and be taken in a different way just based off your personal preference. And one of the main things with this is performance. Skin chemistry plays a huge role as well. What may work on my skin may not work on your skin. What may work on your skin may not work that well on my skin. And I'm talking both scent and also the performance of the fragrance as well. So when I can, I try to come up with videos that may help you guys out and give you a different perspective. So today we're going to be going over 7 fragrances that perform good on me, but don't perform good on others. So if you do some looking around on these scents and you look at some reviews, you may see a lot of people saying that they don't get the best performance from these, but that's where I can step in with my personal skin chemistry and say that, hey, I do get good performance with these. And the reason why a video like this may be helpful is because you yourself may be on the fence to pick up any of these scents, but you don't want to get it if it's not going to perform. Obviously, by me saying that I get good performance out of them isn't going to guarantee that you will, but it'll give you a second perspective, so to where maybe you could say, okay, maybe I'll go and test this now and see how it works on my skin. So if you guys like fragrance videos like this, top 10s and all that stuff, make sure you get subscribed below. All the fragrances that we talk about today will be linked down below as well. If you want to check any of these out, pick any of these up, hit those links. They will take you to discounters. That way you could save yourself some money if you choose to shop for these. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and jump right into this one. First fragrance up, we have Nasomatto Pardon. So this really surprised me because all the Nasomatto fragrances I've tried have been beast mode. They're all extrait de parfum concentrations, so you would expect that they would be. And when I got this fragrance and I smelled it and I tested it, I fell in love. I really like this scent. It's this kind of oud, chocolatey smell. It's got a lot of depth to it, and it smells so good, so delicious smelling, so sexy smelling. Nasomatto fragrances are amazing. And then when I went and looked at reviews on this one on Fragrantica, you'll see a lot of people saying, to my surprise, that it doesn't last, that it lasts a couple hours and it's gone. People are saying that this fragrance is boring. All of that stuff. Really quite a bit of negativity for this one. Of course, there's a ton of positivity as well, but a surprising amount of comments were saying that it didn't last, which is the part that really shocked me. I can understand if you don't like a scent, if it's not for you. That happens with everything. But for a Nasomatto to not perform that well, that shocked me. But I could tell you, with my personal experience, on my skin, it lasts a very long time. 9-10 hours or more. And if you spray it on clothes, even longer than that. Projection is also strong as well. So I don't get any performance issues with this. And I haven't had it that long either. I picked this up probably a couple months ago from, I believe, Fragrance Net is where I got it, although I can't remember for sure. So it's a newer bottle. So it's not like a vintage or anything. And I get good performance. So that's just my personal take, my personal experience with this scent. If you've been on the fence of this one and you're worried about performance, maybe try to grab a sample first, or maybe understand that this could be something that would cause you to go nose blind, in which case you'll want to get people around you to kind of chime in and see if they can smell it on you, and that'll help you rule out whether it really isn't lasting a long time or if you're just going anosmic to it. Second fragrance up, we have Givenchy Gentleman Boisee. The new flanker, I believe this is the newest flanker in the Gentleman line. I really like all the fragrances, and I actually really like this one as well. Now, I will say this, just straight up, this is not going to be anything that's going to be too challenging or too new or groundbreaking, right? This one is a little bit more wearable and not quite as interesting as maybe something like Gentleman Eau de Parfum or Gentleman Cologne. Gentleman Absolute has a bit of that spice bomb thing going on, which makes that one not too crazy interesting either, but it does smell good. This one is just a bit more stripped back, a bit more wearable and mass appealing in my opinion. And so because of that, it's going to be taken in different ways, which I understand if this isn't your thing because it's a bit boring. Fair enough, I understand. But performance, I get good performance from this one, and I've seen where people don't get the best performance. Something like Gentleman EDP, even Gentleman Cologne, a freshie. I get great performance from those. I believe other people, quite a few of them, get great performance from those as well. But this one's been kind of spotty. For me, though, really good performance. 7-8 hours, again, pushing a little bit more. It does become a skin scent by that point, or pretty close to it. Projection is good as well. It's not anything that's too strong, but I wouldn't expect it to be, just being a gentleman fragrance like this. They're all normally pretty moderate on their projection, but I can tell you, pretty good performance here from this one. Can't complain about it. This one is one that you could pick up on discounters, and honestly, I think it's a pretty solid pickup. It smells great. So now we have to do it. We have to address the elephant in the room, something that I see all the time. Everywhere I go, there's always comments about this fragrance, and this is usually one of the main ones as well. Creed Aventus talking about the performance of this one. Some people will say that it just does not last. It's gone in a couple hours. And that 100% comes down to nose blindness, anosmia, olfactory fatigue, whatever you want to call it. This one will cause that very quickly. It does it to me even still. Over time, and it also depends on what batch, if it's an older bottle or a new bottle, over time I've been able to kind of come past it. I think it's just from wearing it so much over the years. And also, usually when I wear this one, I'm spraying more towards the back of my neck, so that way it's not right here like on my chest or in the front of my neck coming up and burning out my nose. If I spray it towards the back of myself, then I catch whiffs of it. So there's little tricks like that you can do, and then also just keeping wearing it over time, I think your nose will start to become accustomed to it a little bit. But it is frustrating. You get this for the first time, you're trying to smell it and enjoy it, and in your head you're thinking that this stuff is just going off of your skin off into the air like magic, and there goes $5 a spray just gone up into the sky, when in reality your nose is just tuning it out, because there's something about this fragrance that it just does that, and I'm not really too sure why. But I can tell you, for me personally, this is one of my strongest fragrances, just out of everything. I mean, it's up there pretty high. Very strong projection, very good longevity. Never had a performance issue with this one. I thought I did in the beginning as well, until I realized, oh, it's still on my skin. I just can't smell it. So, Creed Aventus, do some good testing on it. Get people around you to give their input. And another thing is, people around you can go anosmic to fragrances as well. So you have to be careful, and you have to be smart about it when you're testing it. If someone's been sitting next to you for the past couple hours while you're wearing this, and you ask them and they can't smell it either, don't automatically think, oh, yep, he's lying. It is not lasting on my skin. The person next to you is probably nose blind as well. So be smart going into it. Test this one good. And I would say for 99% of you, it's lasting a long time. You just can't smell it. Moving up next, we have Givenchy Pi Air. So this is an interesting one. This nice benzoin fragrance. It's powdery. It's a bit fresh. It smells great. Really nice quality. A really nice Givenchy Pi flanker. I like the original. This one's awesome too. The bottle looks phenomenal. And one thing about this scent is that people will say, this doesn't last, doesn't perform. For me, I get good performance. A lot of it is coming from the benzoin, and that's kind of giving a powderiness in the base that really will stick on my skin for a long time. I'm not really sure if this one would cause, anosmia that much and make you go nose blind. It doesn't for me. I don't really think this has the same type of compound and composition to cause that, but maybe it does for some people. Just make sure you test it good, or it could just be that on your skin it doesn't work, and that's something that does happen. That's totally fine. For me, I get good performance. Let's keep it moving here. Up next, we have Yves Saint Laurent La Nuit de l'Homme. Of course, this is another iconic one where you've probably heard this story millions of times. The fragrance doesn't perform anymore and so on. And I can tell you, I've looked into this. I've gone so far as to purchase some older bottles, which weren't really cheap, and to try to get to the bottom of it. And what I found is that this fragrance was never a super strong beast mode scent. I have a 4-digit batch code, like original fragrance, original batch of this one. I have the 2013 Edition Art Collector's bottle, which is, I believe, the second formulation of the scent. I have this one, which is like 2017-ish formulation of the fragrance. And then I've also sampled the most current samples of La Nuit de l'Homme. And it's pretty much the same across the board. Performance was never strong. What has changed a little bit is the scent. The scent has been altered, right? The cardamom richness isn't as strong as it was in the older bottles compared to the newer ones. And there even is a difference between my 2017 and my older ones. But the performance has basically stayed the same. Just not the longest lasting fragrance out there, and not the strongest projecting fragrance out there either, which is good because La Nuit de l'Homme is a warm, sexy, inviting fragrance that you wouldn't want to project that far. I actually find, interestingly, that my 2017 projects a bit more than my older bottles. I'm talking about projection, not longevity. Projection, this one is a bit more radiant and pops off the skin more than my older ones, which are more dense. They're all eau de toilette concentrations, and for whatever reason, my 2017 performs more like an eau de toilette, and my older bottles, my ones that are 4-digit and 2013 bottle, those behave almost more like an eau de parfum, where they're just a bit more rich and heavy, and they don't quite radiate as much. So it's interesting. I get better projection from my newer one, but talking about longevity across the board, they all last okay. They last plenty of time for a date, so it's nothing to worry about here. This is a great scent. It smells amazing, great for dates. Performance has always been good on me. Some people, maybe it could be otherwise, but works good on me. Up next, we have Dunhill Icon. This is a grape soda smelling fragrance, as I'm sure you've heard described a million times by now. But it's a good way to describe it. Has that grape type of smell, this fizzy quality underneath, and this nice floral, bright, semi-sweet component. A bit of a citrus pop as well. This is a really, really well done scent. Something that is completely different than everything else out there on the market, which is refreshing and which is nice. Now with this one, I've seen comments where it doesn't last that long or just perform that good on their skin. For me though, I get good performance from this one. Can't complain at all. It's a good performer. It's solid. It will last all day through my skin. It will last a good 7-8 hours on my skin. Plenty enough time to get me through the day, and if I need longer, I could just do another spray, but most of the time I don't. Usually I'll want to switch out my fragrance for the evening anyway, so this one really does good for me. Some people could be different, but for me, this one, it does good, and it's a really good fragrance. It's hard to beat this one for the price. It's affordable, and it's got great quality and just a great scent all around. And last up, we have Armani Code Colonia. So this one is actually a flanker that I really, really like, because it's that Armani Code DNA, just the original Armani Code, a nice tonka bean in there, but with this nice orange and amber wood up top, just giving it this nice freshness. The orange is great. It's great in Armani Code A-List and Armani Code and whatever, and the orange in here works great as well, mixing with the tonka bean. That is a killer combination that's been done many times before, that orange tonka bean. The amber wood giving it this fresh kind of ambroxan. Of course, the bottle color is very fitting. It's this kind of a blue fragrance leaning type of scent. And because of that, it got hate, but it smells delicious. Really, really nice smell. Kind of juicy, vibrant, a bit effervescent, creamy, it's slightly warm. It's just a really good mass-pleasing scent. There's this clean linens, lavenderish type of smell about this one, making it smell just like clean, fresh, like you just stepped out of the shower. Bit of a sweetness in here, making it just a little bit seductive. Really well done, really well rounded. Great compliment getter. People will say it doesn't perform that good on them, but I get really good, like 8+ hours longevity, solid projection as well. Could be a skin thing, could be again anosmia, because amber wood / ambergris / ambroxan oftentimes will cause you to go nose blind. It does it for me a lot. I think that's why I go nose blind to Aventus a lot. I believe there is a lot of ambroxan in there. Ambergris is what they say, but I would say maybe ambroxan in there. Baccarat Rouge 540, a ton of amber wood, ambroxan, ambergris in that scent. Bulgari Aqua Atlantique, a bunch of the same, and a lot of these fragrances I will go nose blind to. So this one could be the same thing. Test it good, wear it, and you would probably be surprised on how well this one actually performs, or again, it could just be a skin chemistry thing. So guys, that was going to do it for me. That was 7 fragrances that perform good on me, but not so good on other people. Hopefully you guys like this one for something different. I'm probably going to do the same video just in reverse. So 7 fragrances that don't perform good on me but perform good on everyone else. I'll try to get that together and look through and see what I have. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Remember, all these fragrances will be linked down below if you want to check any of them out, pick any of them up. Hit those links down there. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.